Let's talk about eating better on a budget. Hello and welcome to WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining me in the studio is Jan Dougan. She is the Extension Educator for Purdue Extension of Du Bois County. Jan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, everybody complains about prices of everything. We complain about the price of gas, we complain about the price of this and that, and food's something too. But there is a way to maybe help eat better on a budget. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so when you think about eating on a budget, how we can stretch our food dollars, there's really three things we need to think about.
Okay.
We need to think about planning, we need to think about shopping, and we need to think about preparing. So those are the three areas that we can really focus on to find ways to cut the money we're spending on food for our families.
Okay, well, let's talk about planning.
Okay, planning.
What do you mean by planning?
Well, planning, you've got to think ahead. You know, I think so many of us are engaged in so many activities and work or with our children or church activities or whatever that we're not taking the time to actually plan what we're going to be eating, plan our meals. You know, I hear a lot of people don't cook anymore. I don't think that's true. I think there are a lot of people that still cook. I think occasionally we eat out for entertainment or for a change of pace. I think occasionally we go, you know, pick up lunch out. But I think a lot of people are conscientious about their food dollar, and therefore they do pack a lunch or they prepare meals at home. So planning. Plan before you go to the grocery store. So I don't know how you shop, and I know you do some of the shopping.
I'm not good for shopping because when I go, I always spend way more than we're supposed to. You know, if my wife tells me you can spend so much, yes, I'm really bad about that. She knows that if she sets a limit for me when I go shopping, it's going to be double that limit. That's just, I'm bad about that.
Okay.
Well, I'm not a good planner, am I?
No, you're not a good planner. So, you know, one of the great things to do is to shop the sale ads. You know, whatever your favorite place is to shop for food, you shop the ad. That also adds variety to our family meals. So if chicken's on sale this week, then you plan a couple meals with chicken. Or if pork is on sale, then you plan a couple meals with pork. That helps us get variety into our family meals. And that also helps us to save because we're shopping the ad and we're saving on the savings that the store is passing on to us. I think it's key to go with a list. So I brought along a sample of a list that we share with our families that are in our family nutrition program. And I like this list for several reasons. This is a grocery list that you can put on the refrigerator because it's got a magnet on the back. So you've got that right there handy. And as you run out of things, you can list them on the grocery list so that helps you keep things fresh and you're never out of something that you need. But what I really like about this grocery list is it's separated into the food groups that we need to be focusing on. So we need to vary our veggies, we need to focus on fruits, we need to make half our grains whole, we need to get calcium from our calcium-rich foods, we need to go lean with our protein, our meat and our beans, and we need to make healthy choices when we choose our snacks. So it really divides it into what you need to be putting on my plate and helps you focus on the really good choices you should make when shopping for foods. So then it also, by categorizing the foods like this, you know, the vegetables are all in one area. So you can shop a little bit more quickly. Whether that be, you might go to the canned area or the fresh produce area, or you might go to the frozen food section, but still, although you'd know, oh, I need to look at my vegetable list. I like to categorize my grocery list. It helps me get through the grocery store more quickly. It's also wise when you're at the grocery store shopping to think about shopping the perimeter of the store. Think about what foods are on the perimeter of the store.
The fresh foods. The
fresh foods. And we really want to try to get more fresh foods and use less prepared foods in our family meals. So that's a great way to get that. So have a shopping list and stick to it. Don't do like you do, Bill, and see a great display or something and think, oh, wow, I need these too. You know, if you stick to the list, if you want to save money, sticking to the list will help you save money. Also, not just on the newspaper ads, but online you can get coupons. All the major manufacturing companies, if you go onto their website, you can usually get coupons for their product. Then know your store's coupon policy. Know if they offer special deals for coupons or whatever. Set your shopping schedule up so that you can use that to your advantage. And then usually there's, competitive pricing. So if you see an ad where something's less money, if you take that ad to the store, usually they'll honor that price. So, you have to be your advocate for shopping and do some of those things, but you can really save a lot of money if you do that. Now, some people think that if we buy in bulk, we can save a lot more. That just depends. If you're going to use it, yeah, you're going to save more. But if you're not going to use it, you're not going to be saving more. And if that encourages you to eat a lot more, maybe not the best thing to buy in bulk. But check your unit price. Do you know what that is at the store?
Now that I do, and it shows the price of the product, but off to the side it'll say how much it is per ounce.
Right.
And you can be surprised how the difference can be sometimes.
Right, so you really almost need a calculator at the store, don't you? Or if you can do that math in your head, then that's a good thing.
That's where my problem lies. I do the math in the head. I must be subtracting instead of adding. Okay.
But even when you're comparing products and you're like, let's say we're shopping for canned tomatoes and we look at the kind we want, we look at the different brands we want, and then we look at the unit price of those to compare which is really the better buy, because sometimes the larger can's a better buy, sometimes it's not the better buy. So we really have to, think that through, and we want to try to cut or eliminate waste. So we want to be smart too in what we select at the grocery store.
So if you plan, you'll be able to do that better.
Yes, you will. So then when we think about, that's pretty much when we talk about planning. When we talk about purchasing too, and that covered a little bit of the purchasing the items, but we want to buy things that are in season. That helps us also, picks up the variety on my plate. Remember that when we buy convenience products, that might be good for us, but it might cost more. It costs a lot less to make a pizza at home from scratch than it does to buy a pizza already prepared. So, that's just one example. There's lots of different foods like that. But, you have to give and take, depending upon your schedule, and you want to eliminate stress in your life too. So every now and then, that's an okay thing to do. But if we're focusing on cutting food dollars, then we have to think about doing a little bit more of preparation.
Are we eating too much? Is that maybe one reason we spend too much?
I think some of the foods that we're eating maybe are costing us more, and we're spending more on those foods, that we could cut back on some of those things. So, some of the things we eat for snack foods, we could be making some healthier choices there and probably spending a little less money, maybe even creating something at home rather than buying a prepackaged snack mix. Okay. I'd have to do some pricing on that for sure, but that would be my best guess.
Okay, now was number 2 preparation?
Yes.
Okay.
3 was preparation. First was shopping, purchasing, and preparing.
Okay. So, purchasing or...
We've pretty much done with purchasing tips.
All right, just be careful when you go out and buy. And compare the label. That's a great idea. And the price per unit makes a difference. Preparation, how can you save with your preparation?
Well, when you think about some of the convenience foods that cost us more, if we prepare those foods rather than use the prepared convenience product, that's the first one, and we sort of already mentioned that. But I think the greatest thing is to cook a couple times a week and eat all week. So think about how you can use a chicken. You could the first time you could bake it, you could have it as chicken, then you could maybe keep the breasts, slice those up, put them in a stir fry later that week, and then with what you have left, you might want to chop up and make chicken salad for lunch one day. So, 2 people could really use a whole chicken and get through the week. Or, go ahead and slice the breast and then freeze those strips that are ready to use the next week if you don't want to have chicken all week long. So, we need to think about how we can prepare some of our favorite recipes in larger batches or larger quantities and then use the freezing meals. There's lots of great resources online for freezing meals ahead and putting them in small quantities so that, if you and your wife want to pull out lasagna one night, that you've prepared a big pan of it earlier, then all you have to do is add a fresh salad to it and maybe a fruit salad along the side for dessert, and you've got your meal ready to go. So, think about how we're preparing things. And oftentimes my husband and I, since we both are working, on the weekends we'll prepare some things that, then I'll intentionally have planned overs for the week. And I like to call them planned overs.
Not leftovers?
Not leftovers, because that kind of, oh wow, leftovers, it kind of gives you a negative thought, that nobody wanted them the first time, so now they're leftover. But when we think about it in a more positive way, as planned overs, I intentionally did this so that we could enjoy this and be able to be out in the garden working and not being in the kitchen, after work. So it's just one tip.
I like the planned overs. There are some foods, this is me personally maybe thinking this, that I think are better the next day or later.
Sure.
Chili for me is never as good the first day when you make it. It's always better 2-3 days later for some reason, in my mind. And that's an easy thing to freeze too if you do soup or any of those kind of things.
Soups freeze well. There are a lot of foods that freeze well. And we've got actually a publication or a reference at work on freezing different foods and making meals ahead and freezing them. And if anybody's interested, give us a call at 482-1782 and I'll be glad to share that information with you. For those viewers who are on to Pinterest and utilizing that social media, you can just search on Pinterest for freezer meals and there'll be a lot of ideas come up. Now, some of the ideas are good ideas. Maybe some of the techniques they use I might not strongly recommend, but you need to be aware and keep your food safety hat on to think about how we're doing this and how we're chilling things and freezing things so that they're safe for our families too.
And pretty soon, farmers markets are going to be opening up. That's also a great way to shop on a budget.
Yes, yes.
And shop good.
Yes, and those of the viewers who have planted a garden, planning for use of your garden produce is good. You always got to, famous chef says, kick it up a notch, but keep those creative juices flowing and think about how you can make things a little bit interesting. You enjoy some meals, but maybe change it up some and try some different things. And then also, eat out. Eat out occasionally for entertainment, for fun, and to save money, because there's a lot of times when there's earlier meals where you can get a bargain on dinner, or if you share a meal you can get a bargain, or senior citizen discounts. I mean, sometimes you need to ask. They don't always offer that, but there's a lot of discounts for viewers who are over 55. You just have to be sure to tell them, hey, I'm a senior, do I get any kind of discount at your restaurant? And they'll be more than glad to let you know whether or not you do get a discount.
So there are ways to save and to eat better on a budget.
Yes, there are.
Okay, Jan, thank you very much for coming in and talking with us. Our guest has been Jan Dougan. We've been talking about eating better on a budget. Jan is the Extension Educator with Purdue Extension of Du Bois County. And you can contact her at the office and she can give you information for things that we've talked about on this show, or maybe other food or health items you're concerned about. Thank you for watching WJTS in.form. We are local people watching local people.